we should motivate people in a healthy way. We should not tell people that, oh, you come to Web3, you get rich. That is a very bad way to motivate people. It's very short term too, right? Like, sure, people want to get into Web3, but they're only in for the money. They're not in for the right reasons, right? What I would love to do is that I would like to let people know of the beauty of Web3. I would tell them about the technology, about like explain to them what Web3 enables, and people will hopefully get interest.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the sixth episode of Colors of Web3 and Entrepreneurship. My name is Lum. I'm your Web3 host. And here today with me is Chee from Nethermind. Hi, Chee. Would you like to give us a quick introduction about yourself?
Thank you, Lam. Hi, everyone. My name is Chee. I'm from Malaysia. A bit about myself. I am a developer, but nowadays I have been traveling around as well, giving talks, joining hackathons, and that's where I met Lam in Tokyo. Actually, we went in Tokyo, and Lam was the finalist, and we have a great chat on the day after Tokyo in
Yes.
this meetup called in Japan. And I just like meeting people like Lam and meeting all the hacker community, getting to know people who are building cool stuff. Because as a dev myself, I do really appreciate people coming up with great ideas, especially during hackathon. That's a quick introduction of me.
Awesome. So I'm wondering, how long have you been in like Web3 now? And how many countries have you traveled to?
Good question. So I'll start off with the first question. How many years have I been in Web3? I would count like 3 to 4 years, 4 years ish, 4.5
Okay.
years. Not exactly very young
Mm.
now. My journey started off from a local startup. I do not know if any one of you are familiar with the scene, the tech scene in Malaysia. So I started working in a software house. A software house is basically like a dev shop. You get the company get contracts and you just build projects for them. So I started off working from there. And at the time, blockchain was the hype. It was during the 2017 era. Actually, it was 2017-18 era. That means after the bull run. But again, the hype is still there. And the company at that time wanted to explore into blockchain, and I somehow got involved in researching about that. So that's when I wrote my first solid contract, run my first Geth node, learned a lot about that, and then after like a couple of I think one more year in the company. So because I've been in the company for 1 year already, so one more year doing that, I made a switch to a company called Etherscan, which is a block explorer on Ethereum. And surprisingly, Etherscan was also a Malaysian company, which is very unknown to me at the time. I just realized that,
Really?
hey,
I didn't
I
know
just
that.
found, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that when I applied too. So there's this local job portal called Job Street where the local Malaysians will often go to look for jobs. And I saw Etherscan and I was like, okay, now they're Malaysian, so I decided to apply. And I didn't know that I would get in. I got it, but I got in. That was fantastic opportunity. So I spent about 2 years over there. And that is when I really get serious into the Ethereum space, because Etherscan allows me to touch on a lot of different aspects of blockchain, like from the DApp protocols, the smart contract, and even get to know about the underlying protocols. And during Etherscan, I wanted to learn more about the underlying protocol. And at that time, there was this program launched by the Ethereum Foundation. They call themselves the Ethereum Apprenticeship Program. This program has now been renamed. It is still alive. It's still there. It's now called 405 already. It has been renamed as to something like protocol. I can't remember. Like it's some sort of apprenticeship where you get to where they pay you to research and learn whatever that you're interested in. So I was in cohort 0, and that further how can I say, spur my interest towards learning more about the underlying protocols, the infrastructure about blockchain. And then I left Etherscan to join a company in Singapore for like less than a year. And finally, I joined Nethermind, which is a company that I always want to join, because Nethermind is a company that has been doing a lot of infrastructure. And I know that we are going to talk about Nethermind later, so I'm not
Yep.
going to talk so much about Nethermind now.
Okay.
The second question, like how many countries have I been to?
Yes.
After COVID, I've been traveling roughly at about one country per month. But sometimes they are the same country. So I've been to like Korea like 2 times, Vietnam 3 times,
Nice.
Singapore 3 times in the last 2 years. Amsterdam was the first country that I traveled after COVID. That was during Dev Connect. And Dev Connect is happening again in Istanbul, and I will see you there, Lam, and hopefully some of
Yes,
you as
that's
well.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an event that you should definitely go.
Mhm.
Wow. Plenty, I would say more than 10. more than 10 now. In the
Awesome.
past,
So
more than 10
these
different countries.
I see. So these also include like your country you travel from personal as well, or like
Nowadays, I normally travel for Web3 events, so all the travels are
so mainly
event
Web
related.
three?
Yeah,
I see. I see. So
yeah,
10 countries.
100%
Awesome.
Web3 so far. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's one of the perk of working for like a fully Web3 native company protocol, right? You get to
Indeed,
travel around.
the culture is very different. Yeah, you get to travel around, and the greatest thing is you get to meet people at different countries and learn their culture. Like that, like how I met you, Lam. That is
Yeah.
just. I mean, I wouldn't have met you if I'm not in the space, right? I wouldn't have met all my friends from overseas. I wouldn't have get to learn their culture, and they wouldn't get to learn Malaysian culture as well. So it's something that Web3 enables.
It's true. I do agree with that. I think Web3 is quite exciting in the sense that there's so many different communities around the world, right? Trying to gather around like some common topic,
Mm,
whether it's like debt related, whether it's some other smaller gaming community or whatever community there in Web3, right? People have gathered around.
mm,
Yeah, that's one thing I
mm,
find really exciting about Web3 as well too. So can you tell
mm.
us a bit more about what do you do for fun outside of work? What are your hobbies?
For fun hours. So, my hobbies mainly is about okay, non-tech related hobbies. I do a bit of running, a bit of gym, watch some animes. I know that a lot of Japanese
Nice.
viewers, and anime is something that I love to. I love since I was a kid.
Okay.
Even started to learn Japanese because of anime. It took like a 7 years Japanese course.
Wow.
Not going to
Awesome. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
passed
remember.
N3 like
Oh, you passed
yeah,
entry.
like a couple of years ago, and I should take my N2, but I just got
Hmm.
lazy. I just didn't study anymore. I should.
I
Uh,
see.
and I like to make coffee and I make
Hmm.
matcha. So those are my hobbies outside of the tech world. Aside from
Nice.
that, I like joining hackathons. Hackathons is so fun. I
Hmm.
like learning about the ZK space, reading about the latest technology in ZK on my own free time. Just just hacking around, doing some random stuff that is not work related, but it's still tech related.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I think your interest is quite diverse. I'm kind of curious on my personal side here. I remember that you actually speak Japanese really well. Also, during that event we met, I was actually quite surprised. But I'm actually
Oh.
curious about like what is your favorite anime? You want to share with us? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. I speak very simple, basic entry level and two level Japanese. Nothing to be shout about.
I think
Nothing to
that's
shout
more than
about.
enough, actually. Mm.
Thank you. My favorite anime has to be Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter cannot be my favorite now because it's on hiatus for so long.
Oh, that's right.
One
Yeah.
Piece is a good one.
Mm.
Jujutsu Kaisen is a good one,
Oh,
and
nice. Good idea.
now yeah, there are a lot. Like some of them are like very good. I just like have like 10 good ones on my list, and sometimes I just forgot to mention.
Nice. Awesome.
Detective
So,
Conan, Metante Conan, and another one.
oh, okay. Yeah. So I think a few of the one you mentioned have been running for like forever. I think like Meitante Conan. Yeah. Yeah.
I like long animes. I like
You
long.
like long anime? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually sometimes also wonder like will this anime ever end like Meitante Conan, right? I remember when I was a
I don't
kid.
know.
When I was a kid, like 5 years old, I think they already began, right? And then I feel
Yeah.
now I'm like yeah in my 30s already, and then it's still ongoing. It's like I don't know what's gonna last long. Anyway, that's very interesting. Cool, cool. So I guess you always been in the more like a technical capability, right? In your past experience, sounds like you began at
Mm,
a software development agency company, and then you move on to
mm,
enter the Web3 space.
mm, mm,
So if you have to explain Web3, actually this is a question now I get quite common, and I'm quite curious how you would answer this. How would you
mm.
explain Web3 to someone who is not in Web3?
Uh,
Like there's a
so
definition of
there are a
Web3.
couple of yeah, there are a couple of approaches to answering that depending on what they want to look at. So for those learners who want to get into Web3, like they ask me, how do I transition to Web3 from whatever industry they're from? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I would just say Web3 is a sort of like a has a culture that is very open, very transparent. You can ask any questions you want online, as long as you have the initiative to ask questions, and people definitely give you an answer. Good or not, the people definitely give an answer, and you can always ask for follow-up questions. So Web3, it's a very, how can I say, open, accepting and friendly culture. Uh, this is my explanation for those who like to get into Web3. But for those who do not understand Web3 at all and just want to
Mm,
get to know like what is Bitcoin and stuff like that, I would say Web3 is going to be an upcoming technology, very unlike what we are familiar with. So people has been saying that tech like Google, Facebook are Web2 because it has been controlled by a centralized party. I think how can I say, one defining point of Web3 is that uh, it's about inclusiveness of the data, inclusiveness of who controls the data, who controls the operation, and make sure that no one is able to centrally control how can I say, the backend process and the logic and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning to say the logics are out there in the public and there's no one who can cheat, lie, because you are able to join and be a part of it. Uh, yeah, and hence I think that's why we have this very open culture, because everyone at the end of the day is able to join the network, able to verify the transaction for ourselves. If you do not trust a bank in Web2, but you kind of have to trust Web3 because you're able to run the node for yourself, you're able to check the code for yourself. That is to me the definition of Web3.
Interesting. Thank you. So would you also say that for people who don't understand about Web3, would you say that Web3 also technologies that utilize blockchain related technology?
So there are a couple of people who define Web3 in a separate way. Some people would even add in AI to Web3. I think that's a fair point, but because I am primarily in the blockchain industry, I would my focus is on blockchain. I do not know much about AI, so I do not want to speak for that. So AI could be something like Web3, big data could be a Web3 thing, depends on how you want to define it. But for me, Web3 is primarily about the openness, about the inclusiveness that everyone is able to partake, which is primarily blockchain.
Nice. That's a very good definition, I would say. Interesting. So now I think I would like to deep dive more into your current work that you do at Nethermind. Well, first, can you tell us, what is there like an official title that you do at Nethermind
Oh, yes, this is a very good
for your
question
role? Yeah.
because I like everyone who has a very clear, distinctive role in the job or
Mhm.
as a company. I have multiple roles. My role has been switched around.
I see.
So I am officially hired as a developer and developer evangelist. So for those who are not familiar with what developer and evangelists do, that means I have to sometimes go out and give workshops, talk to people, let people know about Nethermind, let people know about the things that we are working on. Basically, there's some community aspect to my job, but I am also a developer by trade. That means I write code when I'm not going to events. And recently, I've been made. So there are multiple products in the company, which we are going to talk. We are going to talk about. So I've been made a co-lead of one of the products. So that means I now have to kind of oversee what the projects from a higher level to make sure that everything like is well planned and stuff like that, and also write code for that. So my role is depending on who asks
Mm,
and the situation, I would probably give you a different answer. But all of these
I
three
see.
applies. Yeah.
Okay. So then, I mean, if I'm before I became like a Web3 product manager, I was a data scientist. So actually, I love like data and numbers. Can you give us like
Mhm.
a rough breakdown of like, maybe in terms of your TAM at work, like what percentage would you be like a developer? What percentage would be a developer evangelist, and then what percentage would be like, what are some other category?
I would say 80% will be more on the dev and co-lead work, because co-lead and dev is kind of like similar now. Like people message me to ask me stuff and I also write code. Like only when I go to travel, when I go to events, I'm doing the evangelist role. So, and
I see.
now, I mean, if we try to put that in the picture, I
Mm,
travel around like once every month for like around 1 week. So that's around like 25%. So
yeah,
20 to 25% dev evangelist role.
I see.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Awesome, awesome. Okay, yeah,
Do-
and now, can you give us a more detailed introduction about your company? And feel free to share any presentation or material that you have here.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked because I have them prepared. Let me just quickly share my screen. Entire screen. There we go.
Okay.
So I am pointing everyone to the official webpage. So Nethermind is a company that has multiple products, and we normally try to solve, like you said, right, the hardest problems in blockchain. So meaning we do have a couple of products under the Nethermind name. The most prominent one, for those who are familiar with the underlying protocol, like for those who have run their own nodes or validators, you may be familiar with the execution client. And Nethermind started off as a Nethermind client. So I
Mm,
have conveniently included the GitHub here.
I see.
So this is the GitHub to our Nethermind client. So you get
One quick simple question is, for people who may not be familiar, what a node or what a validator is. Can you quickly tell us about that in
yeah.
simple terms? Yeah.
I'm glad you asked because I also have another page for this one. So basically, what you can see on the screen here, there are Geth, Nethermind, Aragon, Besu, and Ref. So these are the different types of clients that are written by different teams. Geth is written Golang, Nethermind by us is written C Sharp, Aragon is by C Sharp. Aragon is by Golang, and they are written by different teams, different implementation. Why are nodes or clients necessary in a blockchain? It's because this is sort of, you can think of this as a sort of an entry point to the blockchain. So by running a node, you are basically running a blockchain that is able that, and you're able to talk to other people running the blockchain together with you in a very decentralized manner. So for example, let's say I am running Nethermind and Lam, you're running Geth, for example. We all are reading from the Ethereum blockchain, but and and therefore the nodes will have to have a way to talk to each other to communicate data. So let's say I have made a transaction to you. So my node will have to register the transaction, and your node will also have to register the transaction to be considered a valid transaction. This is more of a decentralized model that blockchain has been preaching about. By having different kind of nodes, we are able to ensure safety of the network. Why do I say that? Because let's say there is a bug probably in the Geth client. We can see that Geth is like 46% of the nodes
So
are being run now.
roughly half, yeah, about half, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be worse. It used to be like 70%, which is not nice. So people have been preaching about this client diversity thing. So let's say if Geth is down, we can say the entire blockchain is down because 70% of the entire system is down. But now it's a bit better, thanks to the existence of Nethermind, Aragon, and Besu, and now Ref. So if Geth is down, we still have at least more than 50% of the nodes still running, and therefore client diversity will help protect the network and improve the liveness of the network. So Nethermind is one of the clients that exists in the Ethereum space. So hopefully that explains.
Yeah. Cool.
And aside from Nethermind client, we do have a couple of products such as we have Juno. Juno, for those who are familiar with L2s, I'm going to go a bit deeper here. L2s are basically a way, a method for people to scale Ethereum. So they have this gas issue, which is very expensive to transact on Ethereum in the case of a high transaction period. So L2s aim to solve that, so to allow more people to be able to use the blockchain. So Starknet is an L2. So Nethermind also builds a client on Starknet, and Voyager, which is a team I'm working on. It's a block explorer on Starknet, so you're able to browse your transactions. This is something that I haven't prepared, which I probably should. You're able to browse your transactions here on the site, like you're able to look at the blocks that your transaction. Let's say this is my transaction. You're able to key in your transaction here, and it takes a while to load, and then you're able to see your transaction details and stuff like that. So this is the team that I'm working at, and Nethermind. Aside from that, we do build like a few L2 toolings as well, and we do audits. We do smart contract audits as well. So we do know of the existence of certain other auditing companies, like maybe Trail of Bits, Open Zeppelin, and Nethermind is one of the companies that are doing smart contract audits. One thing that we are slightly different from them is that we also do Cairo audits. Cairo is another smart contract that is deployed on that is written on Starknet. So we do Solidity and Cairo audits. And we also have
for the smart contract audit here, do you does your team do it in a manual way, as in you have developer looking at the code, or do you have some actually tooling for that, or
Yeah, we have a couple of auditors that their job is to just look into audit the code for other people, for clients. And for those who want to go a bit more, there are other techniques like formal verification and even real-time monitoring. So these are under our Nethermind security umbrella. So these are very three different techniques to ensure that your contract is as safe as possible, as bug-free as possible. Yeah.
got it? Yeah, nice.
Uh-huh. And we do have the applied cryptography team. So for those who are, nowadays ZK is a hype, right? For those who are interested in ZK, interested in whatever cryptography thing that's out there, we do have an internal team that's doing a lot of research on that as well. And I quickly would like to share this article that is written by Albert, a team member of Nethermind. So he's in this article he talks about the security of Fry, fiat terminal security of Fry, and that is used on snarks. I'm not going to go through this, but yes, this is something that
Okay,
we do as well in Nethermind.
I see. Can you give us a very simple definition of what is ZK or zero knowledge? Because I think that's something that probably people hear a lot in the Web3 world, but they don't know what it is.
Oh, okay, interesting. So zero knowledge is basically a way for you to nowadays. Okay, the back in the day, zero knowledge is a way for you to prove something without revealing some parts of the input. So to say, this is a very ambiguous, but let me try again. So let's say I would like to prove to you, Lam, that I have enough money to pay my loan,
Okay.
right? How will you trust me? Like you only trust me if you look into my bank account, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, in the Web2 world.
Yeah, yeah. In the Web2 world, yeah. But using ZK technology, I can somehow prove to you that I have enough money to pay the loan without you knowing the exact amount I have in my bank account. So using zero knowledge, I'm able to hide the actual amount that I have in the bank, but you're still able to believe that I'm able to fulfill a certain condition. That is, in this case, am I able to pay back my loan? So
I see.
this is the very original use case of ZK. They're trying to keep some data private, while in the same time trying to convince people that with my private data, I'm able to do a certain conditions or constraint depending on the use case. But nowadays, ZK has moved on. The privacy factor is still there, but people have discovered that ZK is also a way to prove the validity of execution. And people have also used the power of ZK for scaling. So some of the L2 solutions, like Starknet, for example, uses the concept of proof systems to scale the Ethereum blockchain. So what they do is that they are proving that the execution is done correctly. Uh, but 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 when I say scaling, they do not worry about the privacy part, because all they need to know is that they just need to know the outcome of the bunch of long execution is correct. So ZK can be used in two ways now, one for privacy and one for scaling.
I see. Yeah,
That's
makes
that's
sense.
my
Yeah, thank you for the simple example for ZK. I think it's really helpful. So,
thank you.
would you say that let's say that I have an some sort of a very important object, and you want, like, let's say that is there some way that I can prove to you that I actually have that object without, like, a physical object? Yeah, maybe like I don't know, a sword or something, a sword, a katana, or a microphone. Let's say I prove,
Uh-huh.
without showing you the actual object. Is it possible through ZK somehow?
Uh, Technically, everything is kind of possible, but it really depends on what you want to achieve. So in this case, let's say if you want to prove to me that you have this the antique sword, but you have this antique, but you don't let me know it's a sword, right? For
Mm.
example, you might have to go through some tricks. For example, you might have to get someone. You might have to. I mean, this is a very hard example to code. You have to you have to able to express that so-called statement into code, and then you're able to then create a proof out of that statement. Because let's say in the world that we're living now, to prove to you that I have this antique, I have to go through maybe a third party, and you have to trust the third party to be able to then prove to them that I have this thing. But the third party, you have to trust the third party to not reveal the secret. So I guess when it comes to ZK technology, you cannot run away from that, because at the end of the day, you have to somehow kind of like convert this physical asset to be represented in a digital form, and you can only do that by some sort of like an auditor or some sort of like a trusted third party. Yeah, that's my very quick
I
explanation for
see.
this, and I have to really sit down to think if you
Yeah,
really want me to like come up with a
yeah.
solution.
Thank you. No, I think that sounds like a very I think that sounds like a solvable. I mean, possible. I would say possible or feasible solution as well. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Cheers. Okay. So moving on with your company here, and then what other part would you like to share with us?
Oh, there's a Nethermind summit in Istanbul for Dev Connect. I know, Lam, you're going to join. I'm going to see you there.
Yeah, for sure, for
and
sure.
uh
Mm.
and that's all we do. We basically do a lot of protocol research as well, because as a Nethermind client, we need to implement the vocal trees. We need to implement dank sharding. We need to implement all sorts of um, EIPs that are going to be core to the Ethereum protocol. And of course, we maintain some libraries like we contribute to libT2P. We are doing a so yeah, basically TLDR Nethermind, it's a company that provides solutions and do research on basically almost everything on the Web3 space. Yeah,
I
almost
see.
everything.
Yeah. And how big is this company? How big is Nethermind?
Oh yeah, I think right now we have about 200 people, including interns. Oh, speaking of interns, one thing I need to mention is that
Mm.
Nethermind is a very unique model. So we have this thing called internship program where we take in a lot of interns. I think around right now we have like 30 or 40 interns
Oh, really?
working with us right now.
It's quite a lot.
And
Yeah.
because of the vast amount of projects that we are doing,
Mm.
interns have the opportunity to jump between the teams and projects that he or she wants to work at. And it's going to be a 3-month paid internship with no expectation whatsoever. So the intern is able to work alongside the core devs and learn from the core devs.
I
So
see.
this is
This is
something
a
that
full-time opportunity, right? Full-time.
full time of
Mm.
I mean you it can be part time, it can be discussed because it's going to be
I
paid
see.
hourly as well. So if you work less, you probably get paid less. But we have no restrictions as to uh what you have to achieve at the end of return. Even I mean the company is fully remote. That means that I can work
Mm.
wherever I want at whatever time I want.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Yeah, and 30, 40. And I'm assuming that for each intern, you usually pair them with one existing employee team member, right?
Now the intern is paid at a rate of roughly around $1,000 per month for 3 months. So we spend around $3,000 per intern.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
know. Sorry. But my question was actually like, do you pair, as in, like, do you match the intern with an existing employee, right? So that they can grow and
Uh,
learn, or how does it work for the intern?
so we have like many teams. So the intern will just pick one team. For example, my team. So my team right now have 2 interns. They can just work in, and then we'll just find something intrinsic for them to do. Or if they have
Ah,
any ideas that they want to build, they can just build with us.
right.
And the interns will have to have the initiative and motivation to ask questions. Because at the end of the day, in the working world, we cannot
Mm,
expect to spoon feed everyone. So the intern has to learn the necessary skill to survive in a remote friendly company and to survive in
mm.
any company actually. To ask questions, to learn how to communicate in a remote style, in a remote manner. So I think these are the skills that an intern can pick up doing the job.
For sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And from what you have introduced so far, it sounds like your company is a very technical company. So I'm wondering, out of the 200 people, how many are actually technical? How many are just like handling the business side of things?
Oh yeah. Uh,
Mm.
I think we have 4 BDs. I think we
Okay.
have four.
Wow.
Uh, like 4 to 5 events people
Okay.
and 3 to 4 growth. So I think around 5% are like non-technical, five
Okay.
to 8% or even 10% non-technical. The
Got
rest
it.
are
So so so
technical. Yeah,
so basically, like 10 to 20 people are like non-technical
yeah,
people. Wow. That
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And what are some of the other companies that would you consider to be like competitors to Nethermind in the space?
I wouldn't like to use the word competitor because at the end of the day, everyone is helping each other.
I see.
But I will use the word peers. That means we
Okay.
are doing
Yes.
very
Sure.
similar things.
Hmm.
No, it's all good. I just want to make sure that I clarify that we are. Nethermind is not a company that tries to compete with you, trying to make you
Got
go
it.
out of business. No, we
Got it.
survive in a very
Yeah.
friendly manner.
Okay.
So I would consider Consensus. Consensus is the team that built MetaMask,
Hmm.
and now they have a blockchain called Linear. So that team
Yeah.
also builds like a lot of stuff and also have a also dip their toes into many different aspects in blockchain,
Hmm.
such as they have some research team as well. They build a wallet. They have an auditing team. So we are very similar to what they're doing. And recently, there's another company that is very new. I think about 1 year old or less than 1 year old. I cannot remember exactly.
Mhm.
It's called Lambda Class. So Lambda Class also aims to build a client, aims to build some smart contract as well. So
Hmm.
these are the companies that are very similar to ours. And I do hope that we're able to coexist and learn from each other.
I see. Yeah. Thank you. I think you share a very interesting perspective. I think the other day I also had a guest who told me that, like, inside of competition we do have to collaborate and work together, because the whole ecosystem. Actually, that was my third episode when the CEO of Scallop.io. He said that since DeFi is still a very small community, like the entire DeFi, right? So instead of competing one another, he's actually trying to collaborate with all the different people because like he's trying to bring people more into DeFi, right? Yeah. So
For
I think it
DeFi
makes sense.
especially,
Mm.
for DeFi especially, we have to collaborate with each other because we can think of DeFi as like this Lego blocks where one protocol is able to hitchhike another protocol, combine with that protocol to get like more yield or like better price, like one is for
Liquidity as well,
example.
right? Or
Exactly.
liquidity.
So in the world of DeFi, having the collaborative spirit is super important.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see. That makes sense. And so if I understand correctly, one of the main product your company provides, they provide the clients who run the nodes, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, we
And
have.
then
Yes.
I guess so the obvious is the logical question I want to ask next is like, who are these people who are actually running the nodes or running operator? Who are they? What are they? Business? Are they like individual? What are they?
Uh, that's a very good question. Okay, I do not know exactly how much percent of them are run by industries. So okay, one thing for sure is that the validators have to run the nodes. So validators are people who validate the blocks and alter the blocks. So they have to run the node. People like block explorers will also have to run the nodes because that is where they get the data from. They normally run their own nodes because they don't rely on another third party.
I see.
We have RPC providers like Infura, like Alchemy. They also have to run their own nodes because if they don't run their own nodes, how else are they going to get the data from, right? And there are people who just want to run their own nodes, like MEV searchers. They want to run their own nodes because they want to get like they want to ensure that they get the fastest access to the mempool. And people who just want to run their own nodes because they don't trust any of the providers. So it ranges from individuals to business to validators. I do not exactly know what are the percentage, nor do I know how to look them up. I probably need to Google it later if you really want me to know, give you an answer. But yeah, anyone can run a node, and these are the people who might have the incentive to run a node. Some people just run it for fun as well.
I see. All good. And I think you mentioned a very difficult word and topic, mempool. I actually would like to can you give a brief like introduction or very brief? Yeah, I don't think you have to go very deep into it about mempool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
that's it.
So mempool is basically like a pool of transactions that people have submitted to the blockchain, but hasn't been included in the block yet. Because if we need to know that for transactions to be accepted by everyone, because at the end of the day, it's a blockchain where everyone that runs a node have to consent, have to agree that this transaction is correct, and to do that, the transaction has to be in a block because the blocks are the one that's being passed around by among all the clients. So these are the transactions. The transaction in the mempool are the transaction that has been sent to a certain client and hasn't been included into a block yet. And the mempools are being, how can I say, are being shared via P2P to other nodes as well. Because so let's say let's say maybe Alex, Alex is a made up name, send me a transaction, send my node, my client a transaction. So I have to first include it in the mempool, perform some checking. If I think it's okay, I will then P2P this transaction to you, Lam, and then you will do your checking, and then you P2P to some other people. So eventually, one of the people one of the clients that is going to validate the block is going to include that transaction from the mempool into the block. Yeah. So mempool is basically like mempool basically consists of transactions that has not been included in the block yet. So yeah. So that's basically it.
I see. So I actually I was just thinking of this very simple example related to food and cooking. So would it be fair to say that mempool is like maybe the ingredients that you put on the table that you actually haven't put into the actual frying pan or whatever your cooking place is yet? Would that be like a fair,
I guess you can say that. I
Yeah.
guess that's a good analogy. Maybe like for example, when I go to a restaurant, I place my order. The
Yeah.
order is being placed in the mempool. So
Okay.
and then the chef will execute it and include it in the block, and then you have your food. I
I
guess
see.
if you put it that way, that would be an analogy as well.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Because I'm just trying to make it easy and more accessible, right? For people who may not be
Oh,
familiar with
I think
Web3.
that's a fantastic
Yeah.
analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Interesting. So I guess your company is still open for hiring at the moment. Looks like because I mean,
Yes, we are. We have a lot of open roles actually. Let me just click into it. To be honest, I'm not very clear as to how many
Sure.
engineers we have, but I think we have more than five. Oh, we have more than five. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We have plenty. So uh, for those who are looking for a job in Web3, and if you think that you are well suited for one of the roles here, highly encourage for you to apply, or even the internship program.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, looks like a lot of role. I think most of these like very technical, right? It sounds like a lot of engineer, auditor. Yeah. I think I only
Yeah,
saw like marketing executive. There's one there, one business
yeah,
role. There's
yeah.
all
One
these.
among like how many technical roles out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. So, you've been working at Nethermind for what, two years now? Is that right?
No, it's a little less than a year. I think
Oh, less
11
than a year.
months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are so in your 11 month at Nethermind, what are some of the challenges that you face working at your current company?
Uh, the challenge that I face, okay, a non-technical challenge that I face is that I need to get used to the very odd meeting schedule because
Mm,
like just before the call I had a meeting at 9:30 Japan time to around 10, yeah, 10 p.m. Japan time.
I see.
So for Asian listeners, this is probably a bad time to have your meeting, but I have to do it because I have colleagues that are from South America, that I've colleagues from Europe. So these are the time that I think is the most suitable for everyone. I just have to stay up a bit late. Some people just wake up a bit early. It's a good compromise, I think, among the members that we have in the team. That could be a challenge. That was a challenge for me at first in the first couple of weeks, but you just get used to it, right?
I
You just
see.
sleep late and wake up later.
Yeah.
So on the technical front, I think this is not really a challenge from Nethermind, but blockchain in general, like things actually Starknet in general, because I mentioned that I work in the Explorer. The
Mm,
technical front is that Starknet changes very rapidly, and as an explorer, you need to move fast as well to try to capture all the protocol changes and make sure that it's captured in the Explorer, because at the end of the day, users is going to rely on the Explorer to get to know that the latest data. So if Explorer is down because probably a protocol change, that won't be nice. So the challenge is you have to really move fast when it comes to building an Explorer. Yeah,
I see.
that'll be yeah.
Hmm. Is it because like Explorer is a pretty critical piece of the infrastructure in Web3? Do you
I
say?
would say it's a very, like you said, a very critical
Hmm.
piece of infrastructure, and it also encompasses a very wide range of Web3 products. So in Explorer, we have the contract details. So that means like we show analytics. I mean, we show tokens as well.
Hmm.
We show in the future we're going to show NFT data. So all these are different aspects of blockchain, and we need to be able to accommodate for all different parts of blockchain. So we need to do like contracts. We need to know about contracts. We need to know about protocol changes. We need to know about UI UX as well, because we need to like show all these things in a nice manner.
No.
Uh, we need to know what are the latest things to include so that we can, let users, um, how can I say, benefit the users so that we show data in a certain way that they like. So basically, Explorer is a very, very, how can I say, very tedious and very painful job, but someone has to do it,
Yeah, it's true. I think it's very necessary, yeah, for people to just
right?
explore. I think it's very hard for people to explore around for like to look for transaction on their own without an explorer, right? In general, yeah.
Yes, I actually gave a talk about what is life in blockchain without an explorer. So you have to look into RPC, you have to call an API, you have to do
Wow,
your own decoding. It's possible, but it's going to be very tedious.
I
Yeah,
see, I see, and I guess you have to be super technical as well, right, to be able to do all of that. Yeah, so
yeah, you have to
it's not
understand.
as
Yeah, you have to understand like
hmm,
you have to know what to call and how to read the data. Yeah, it's very annoying.
I see. Now I'm actually more curious. I want to dig more on like the human side of your company. So it sounds like you have people from all over the world working at the company, and your
Mhm.
company headquartered in London, right? Is that correct? Or UK, if I believe.
Yeah, we are. But how can I say? We are officially and by legal means or like legal standards, if you whatever you call it,
Hmm.
that we are based in the UK. We have a very small WeWork space, which I have not visited at all. That's about it. Like I think there are like 10 desks, and most of them are pretty much empty. So
Okay,
everyone else works everywhere.
I see.
So we have people from India, from Pakistan, we have some from Africa.
Hmm.
Uh, we don't have anyone from Japan yet, but we have someone from Korea, like two or three people from Korea,
I see.
Malaysia. We used to have an intern in Vietnam.
Hmm.
Uh, Thailand, we have like a couple of people. Australia. Europe, of course, we have a lot. The North South America, we have. Yeah, basically across the entire region.
Awesome, awesome. So then, how do people like actually work in a fully remote Web3 company? I think this is a topic that a lot of people who are not in Web3, like maybe curious about, like what tool do you guys use? Like how do you collaborate with each other? Do you work in small team, big teams? Like
Mm.
yeah, tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think for now, like every team size, like every projects that I show probably over here, like these are all one projects are have a team of like not too large. We don't have like 20 people. We don't have like 30 people in a team.
Okay.
And I think the key to working remotely is to have good communication.
Hmm.
One needs to uphold the responsibility to communicate your work, to communicate the roadblocks clearly, and you need to have the initiative to always like uh, remind people to reply to your message, because some people might forget. Like
Hmm.
for example, let's say I have like 10 messages, I might seen I might have seen, but I forgot to reply you, and it's the
Oh.
responsibility of someone else to remind me as well, and it's also my responsibility to remind other people as well. So being working remotely, you need to kind of understand that communication is very important. Yeah, to make sure that messages get across. And I think in our team, in Voyager, we have a daily sync, which is the meeting I have before the call.
Mhm.
It's just like it's like a daily catch up as to what who has a problem or what. Like just a quick update as to what happened throughout the day, and if we need any urgent actions.
So this is like all 20 or 30 people all in one meeting.
So our team is a bit small. We have like around 10 people, so 10
Oh,
people
okay.
all in one day. But it's not
I see.
compulsory though. If you're busy, you
Yeah.
can always update us in the Slack channel.
Hmm.
But of course, if you're not busy, it's very nice for you to just drop by.
I see. For email, like, do you guys use like Outlook, Gmail? What is it? I'm curious.
We have a company Gmail, but to be
Okay.
honest, I only use Gmail when people send me some calendar stuff to my
Ah,
calendar.
I got it.
Aside from that, I really much prefer people to contact me via Telegram, or
I
in the
see.
company sense via Slack, because this is where I can give you almost immediate response.
I see. I see. That makes sense. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that sounds very like Web3 native, right? Most users use Telegram. Yeah. Interesting. I know that feeling. Yeah. Because for me also, I actually, I'm basically, I try to be on point on most of my social media, but yeah.
Hmm.
So it's keeping it. But I do think that in Web3, like Telegram and probably still the most popular, and Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah. Twitter's
Telegram and
the top.
Twitter are like the
Mm.
two very most popular tools. I think FarCaster now is getting more popular because Vitalik is super active on FarCaster.
Oh, really? FarCaster.
Yeah, he posted very frequently on FarCaster now as compared to in Twitter.
Okay. What is your take on FarCaster? Where do you think will happen with them? And I guess for the people who don't know about FarCaster, maybe give a quick one liner, two liner about what it is also.
Oh, FarCaster is an alternative to Twitter. It's like a
Mm.
social media. I think it has something to do with blockchain, which I don't really know. I
Yeah.
have an account in FarCaster. I don't use it that much. So my take
I
on
see.
FarCaster is like I
Mm.
really don't know. I have an account. I don't really use it that much.
Oh, oops.
Probably they need more traction. If they have more like cool people tweeting, then I will start using it a lot. So I guess this is part of the onboarding journey, right? For a social media platform example, you need people to go there, and you have this positive feedback cycle where you have more content creator, and you have more people joining, and then you have even more content creator, and so on and so forth. So I think Farcaster is probably trying to do that, but I can't really comment much on Farcaster
I see.
otherwise.
I see. Interesting. Yeah, I think it sounds very similar to the Web2 marketplace problem of chicken and the egg, right? Or the buyer and
Yeah,
the
indeed.
seller, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
indeed,
common, right?
indeed.
Which side do you get first, right? Like for example, Airbnb, do you focus more on the host first, or do you focus more on traveler? I think Airbnb they probably focus more on the host, for example, first because you actually need
Uh,
the host first, right? And then
that is true. That is
yeah,
true.
yeah. The
That is
traveler, I
true.
mean, there's already plenty of traveler, right, around. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is true.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting, awesome. So then, what now that I mean you're a very capable developer from what I see. What actually motivates you every day, right? When you get up to work, right? How do you keep yourself accountable and
uh,
responsible? Yeah.
I just don't think my job is a job. Like I actually enjoy
Nice.
uh, learning new stuff every day, learning hard stuff. I think which is why I joined Web3 in the first place, because Web3 is moving very fast. And I think which is why I got interested in ZK, because ZK is very hard. So I think I just, I'm the type of guy who likes to learn stuff on a daily basis. And I don't think my job is a job. I generally enjoy writing code, generally enjoy building stuff. So I think I'm very lucky to be able to get into the space because of that. What motivates me, I think, for now, like if someone uses Voyager and give me like a feedback, whether or not it's good or bad, I'll be
Yeah.
very happy. So I guess that's my motivation. So for example, let's say if you go to you tell me that, oh, I just do not like for example, this button placement. And I would be very happy to listen to your feedback because it shows that people actually care and actually uses Voyager, which is a product that our team is bidding very hard to provide to the users. So I guess that could be a motivation.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think you mentioned earlier you also handle UI UX. Do you actually also build the front end for that too, or you just do the back end, everything, a little bit everything?
Oh yeah, in our team we have a front end designer.
Got it.
So they are mainly in charge of the front end. I do some small modification of front end. I'm not like a very good front end. I do like maybe some easy placement, easy text change. Those are the
Right.
things I can do. But majority of the front end work are done by the front end engineer and also the designer. I mainly do the back end part.
Okay, I see. Are you an individual contributor, or are you actually leading the team for Voyager?
I'm a co-lead
Okay.
of this project. That means that I share the responsibility with another guy who is based in North America. So two of us are in charge in overseeing the entire project, make sure that everything works.
Nice, interesting. So for being a co-lead, how do you is there a way you guys divide responsibility, or like how do you divide work, or divide, or is there any division at all, or you guys work toward a common goal of making Voyager the best blockchain
Oh, that is
explorer?
yeah, that is a very good question. Basically, we all everyone in the team tries to make Voyager to be as good as
Mm,
possible.
mm,
Basically, the other colleague is very much well versed than me in terms of the infra sense. So
mm.
he normally take charge in the infra part. Me, I because coming from my experience in Etherscan, I have a bit more experience when it comes to Block Explorer. So I often give out weird ideas and propose some weird architectures for the team to implement. So I guess this is how our roles are being divided.
I see. Cool, cool. But I guess so. So I think you probably have what happened if you guys don't agree on something? Like how do you do a tiebreaker, or I guess
Oh,
then you're like co-lead, right? Yeah.
that's a very good question though. But to be honest, I haven't had a hard time.
Mm,
I haven't yet had a hard time to come up with a to sort of like resolve conflicts. I think generally the team is pretty understanding. Like you just have to explain. For example, if you disagree on this design,
mm,
we generally have to give our reasons why, and somehow someone would how can I say will give in. For example, I would probably like agree that your design vision is probably better, and I was like, okay, we can try it first. And one thing I remind the team to do is that we always have to be very flexible. So let's say if design A is not good, we always should be very flexible in our way of thought, our mindset
mm.
in changing the design, so that it's better than before. So you have to be very flexible to change, very open to change, not to like be very attached to the design that you have. So for example, like if this button is not nice, we should
Mm.
always be very flexible to remove it or change it. So yeah, try and error is very important. Like if you cannot come up to a decision, we should definitely try and error.
I see. Nice. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So it sounds like very fair process that you guys have. And you mentioned earlier that you actually like to listen to feedback from users of the existing Voyager block, right? How where do you go to actually find these existing users of your program?
That's a super good question. Right now we are not getting enough feedback as much as I hope. But
Mm.
sometimes too much feedback is also bad, right? Like you're just super
Yeah.
busy. But right
Mm.
now I think it's okay. Like we're getting more feedbacks than a couple of months ago. That I mean, and it shows that user actually uses Voyager now.
Yeah.
People sometimes DM me or DM the group, the shared channel that we have on Telegram. Sometimes people like just know that, oh, who and who works for Voyager, and I'll just DM this person. The easy way is to also DM us on our Discord. We do have a Voyager sub channel. Tag us on Twitter. We have someone who definitely look into it and relay it to us. So these are the platforms that you can, for now, you can give us feedbacks.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I think we
Thank you.
I think we've talked a lot about your company in particular. Let's
Uh-huh.
switch a gear a bit and talk about more things in general. You can quit the sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Over here if you want.
Now I can see your face
So
now. It's nice.
yeah. Okay. Awesome. Cool. So, what do you think? My first question: What do you think will happen in the Web3 space in a few years, or and maybe Web3 in general, and also your space, your company, particular domain in a few years?
Oh wow, this is a very hard one. Like, I'm not good at predicting stuff, right? I personally hope that people can appreciate the beauty of Web3 in the sense that everyone is able to participate in the network. Uh, I hope that there will be more useful applications aside from the finance industry. There will be on
Mm,
blockchain, and that requires us to improve on certain areas, like make it more scalable. Execution has to be cheaper. Blah blah blah. Yeah, those are my hope, and I would expect those to be achieved. Seeing the amount of smart people, good engineers have that tackling this problem together. So yeah, those are my hope.
I see. Thank you. And then I actually would like to ask you my show signature question for Web3 is that what can we, as you know, Web3 native people do to help onboard and guide 1 billion people to using Web3 products and services?
Uh, hmm, I would say the first thing first is that mm, we should motivate people in a very healthy way. We should not tell people that, oh, you come to Web3, you get rich. That is a very bad way to motivate people. It's very short term too, right? Like, sure, people want to get into Web3, but they're only in for the money. They're not in for the right reasons, right? Uh, I would what I would love to do is that I would like to let people know of the beauty of Web3. I would tell them about the technology, about like explain to them what Web3 enables, and people will hopefully get interest. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure not everyone will get interested, but if they're like
Mm,
one out of like five people who got interested, then I've successfully on board like 20% of people I talk to.
yeah,
That is
that's awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
So I would I would encourage everyone to explain to other people who are trying to get into Web3 space in a very uh, how can I say, in a very not short term way. That means we don't ask
Mhm.
people to come say that, oh, Web3 is a way for you to get rich. That is not something that we will want to see in the industry. And these so-called scammy tokens or
Mm.
are just giving bad reputation to the Web3 space, which we don't need already. We have plenty of that already. Yeah, so and just think of and also it's very important to uh, contribute your ideas, ask questions, contribute ideas, join hackathons,
Yeah.
talk to more people so that you're able to then inspire more people, hopefully get everyone to understand the cause of Web3 and what it enables and why is it good for you and why do you think it's important.
Mm. That's true. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think in general, I think even for any new technology, always comes with new ways of, like scammers and cheater who's gonna come up with new way. Right? I think the same as in the when Web2 or even the internet first came out, right? There's a lot of people
Yeah,
who are also being misled or being cheated, being scammed. And I think the same thing is also happening in Web3 first, right? So
yeah.
what is there something we can do to help prevent that or maybe help contribute?
I think this probably what I think is a proper education. Like we should
Hmm.
people who are people who got scammed are probably those people who would like to achieve a goal very quickly, like a short-term goal very
Hmm.
quickly. They are probably very desperate to earn more money, and that's why they give in to a lot of these temptations. So with proper education and with proper self-awareness, we know that we are able to have a clear head to decide or not, like this is a scam or not, and to understand that money is not that easy to earn. Like it can be too good to be true. If it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
Yeah. I see. So
Uh,
like the DIOR, right? Do your own research, right? I think
yeah,
we
that,
heard that
that
a
term
lot.
is
Yeah.
being thrown around a lot, but I feel that not many people is
Mm,
taking that DYOR term very seriously, which I definitely hope that people take it more seriously.
yeah. Yeah. I do hope the same too. Yeah. It's very tricky. Anyway,
Mm.
so just two more questions here before we closing out the end of the show here. Since you've been working in Web3 for quite some time now, do you have any particular advice and maybe some actionable step people can take right away to for people who are trying to get a job in Web3, people who maybe let's say transition from the Web2 space as whether as a technical or non-technical person, right? Transitioning to Web3, what can they do
Mm.
to get a job? Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good question. I've been asked about that a lot. So basically, now the number one thing you should do is you should definitely start reading up on your own about blockchain stuff. So if you are someone who's technical, you should start learning your smart contract on your own, without having someone to try to push you into learning it. Because I feel that if you learn it on your own, it's your own initiative and you are very self-driven. And someone who's self-driven is able to motivate himself or herself,
It's true.
without having someone to like spoon feed or push you to do it, right? It doesn't work if I sit next to you, Lam, and every day I force you to study. It doesn't work that way, right?
Correct.
You have
Yeah.
to you have to love it, and you
Yeah.
have to be motivated, and it comes from within yourself. So you should be very disciplined, and you should have the initiative to start learning, start because all the materials are there online. It's very open. You can ask any questions and people will answer. Like I mentioned before, it's a very open culture. You should start asking people questions, talk to communities to bounce off ideas. And I think joining hackathons is a good way for you to sort of accelerate that process, because in hackathons you get to meet people and you get to talk to different people from different aspects and you get to learn from them as well, and get to see what other projects are being built and even build project yourself. So that means you're already using some of the protocols that are already in the space. It kind of like allows you to grow even faster as a team, and with a deadline, of course. So getting a job, yeah. So basically, these are I would say, precursor. Um, the mindset in terms of mindset for you to get a job. I would say that do not afraid if you are not good enough, because at the end of the day, everyone has to start from somewhere, right? I started from not knowing nothing, to knowing a bit more, and many people who do not know nothing and move on a couple of years. Actually, if you're hardworking, I think a year is a lot already that you can learn. Yeah, so be persistent, do not be afraid, ask questions, have initiative, motivate yourself every day, uh, and do not, yeah, those are the general advice that I would say. Yeah. One very important thing is that if you go to meet people, sometimes your network would help. Like for example, I got my job in Nethermind because I was giving a talk in Vietnam. Actually, I was in Vietnam giving a talk, and I met the CEO, which is also the founder of Nethermind, and he likes to talk, and he offered me a job on the spot. So that's how I got my job.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
awesome,
meet people, share knowledge, and share your knowledge publicly so people get to know you as well. Yeah. So instead of like just absorbing, you should also like give back so people know, oh, okay, this guy seems to know his stuff. I would like him to join my team, for example.
Yeah. It's true. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. So I think just to recap a little bit of that, I think people need to have an intrinsic motivation, right? To develop the love for through learning, and then build network, work with people, in your way, build some project, learn something, right? If you're a dev technical, if you're a business person, I guess you can just write or talk or do something. Like for me, I guess I'm expressing my love for Web3 to running this podcast, right? For sure, this is one of
This
it. But of
podcast is
course, like,
great.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
this podcast is great. Yeah, you're taking your own time to do it. I think. Thank you so much for doing it, and I hope there are more people like you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring something quite special and unique to the table, and because I also think that Web3 right now is not completely quite difficult for people to understand, right? So I mean that's why earlier I was asking you a lot of the to explain some of the very technical concepts in Web3, and I think you explained them very well. Actually, so I think even better than I could explain myself. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, awesome. And where can people find you or follow you?
I am pretty active on Twitter. I'm an active reader on Twitter. My Twitter, it's do you have like a description that people can share?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I
Yes. You
yeah.
can just read it out loud and spell it, and then I'll make sure to put it in the show notes. Yeah, so people
Okay.
can actually find it. Yeah.
Elias, Cheechuan, basically my name, and then you append it with ANG, which is my last name. So Chee Chyuan ANG. So that's my full name.
Got it.
So that's my Twitter handler.
Got it. Yeah, simple enough. Yeah, I make sure to put that in the show notes so people can check it out. Whether they are listening in from some podcast like Apple Podcasts or watching on YouTube, then they can find it. Yeah.
But I'm very boring on Twitter. I hardly like tweet. I'm normally reading a lot, but I hardly tweet. I hardly post as well. But I don't know. My DMs are open. Sometimes if you ask good questions, I will reply. But I will not reply to those people who like are stealing your NFT projects and want to get involved in some scams. Those are people that I probably won't reply because they're scams.
Got it. I think the other day I was quite random actually, but I think I saw you on some Twitter space, right? I think you're participating in some very technical workshop actually. I think it was
It
about
was it
ZK
was
or
this
layer
morning.
two. Yeah, I
It was
think
this
was it
morning.
this
Yeah.
morning? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was quite random actually. I think
Yeah.
I went on Twitter and then I'm like, oh, it's like it's showing me like, oh, Chee Chyuan is actually in there, and then I just joined. I'm like, oh wow, this is actually very technical. So I tried to listen in a little bit, but I think after I had a work meeting, so yeah, I just dropped out. But yeah, that was cool.
I saw you there. I was like, oh wow, Lavi's here too. Cool, cool, very cool,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah, just listening in. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining the sixth episode of Colors of Web3 Entrepreneurship. It's been
Thank you
awesome.
for having me. I really enjoy this talk, and I would like to thank you and appreciate you giving me an opportunity to be on the podcast.
Thank you again for your time. Yeah. And we are back to my studio. Did you guys enjoy the sixth episode of Colors of Web3 and Entrepreneurship? If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button up here. It will mean a lot to me. For the next episode, I'll be talking with the CEO of Colors.io, Mr. Pavel. He's actually building a platform to help brands with their influencer marketing activity. So it's a very interesting topic that you don't want to miss. Once again, thank you for listening and see you next time.